Not yet. God
There you go.
damn it. Uh, Still not going to edit the shit. So, season 4, episode 6 of Your Book is Why Daddy Drinks. Welcome back, everyone. This is Tyler.
And this is Matt, and this is technically the second June podcast that we had talked about. June kind of ran away from us, with the move and everything. So, and then just life.
Got kind of hectic there.
Yeah, but now you are up here, up north, and that's all good. And this may be the second to last time we do this not in person, which would be awesome. Because I don't know if we'll be able to swing getting together for Gray, which is going to be book number 7 for the year, or episode 7 rather. But definitely the time after that should be doable as far as getting together to do this. So
with whatever we read for August, then.
Oh no, I had found one that I thought was suitably terrible in retaliation for these last 2 books that you picked out. I'll find it. It looked really, really horrible. But I'm pretty sure I posted it to the Facebook group, so I just have to go back and look for it. So, before we get into this too terrible even for the SyFy channel book that you had us read for June, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight I'm drinking a bottle of Crispin hard cider, the Honeycrisp variety, which is a good, nice, smooth, sweet cider with honey added to it.
Nice. Because this book made me sad, I decided to go to my liquor cabinet and found myself my bottle of Writer's Tears, and so I'm having some of that deliciousness right here. I like it because it's super smooth. It doesn't, like some whiskey burns on the way down. This doesn't. It just settles into your stomach and is a nice little warm feeling, and the taste doesn't linger in the mouth, which I really enjoy. So, Tyler, what was the book that you picked out? Tell us about it and tell us how you found it.
This was another amazing find from BookBub.
Oh, BookBub.
If you're not subscribed to BookBub, you need to be. Every month they curate a selection, or every day, not every month, every day you get a selection of ebooks that are discounted or free in your preferred genre. And my genres that I get are young adult, fantasy, and sci-fi. And so the books I get are usually from those 3 areas.
And if it's something that you're concerned about, these are legit. These are legit ebooks. These are not like ripped off and pirated stuff. This is straight from which Barnes & Noble or Amazon.
Like everyone I've gotten has been through Amazon.
Yeah, well, I mean that's probably what you have your reader set up for.
That's right.
Yeah, but I think that they might do it, and they just look for daily deals. And there have been some. Actually, I picked up some cheap books, cheap good books off of that. I think I got the first Monster Hunter book by Larry Correia. Yes, if you're a fan of, and if you are aware of the Stupid Hugo's drama, I'm reading it so that I can familiarize myself with his work. Relax, I'm not a puppy. Anyway,
that's definitely a separate the art from the artist thing, because I loved the Monster Hunter International books, but I probably would not sit down and have a beer with the dude.
Yeah. I'm probably going to guess that I'm in the same boat in that regard, especially after the shenanigans of this year. So anyway, so you found this through BookBlurb.
I found it through BookBlurb, and it literally looked like a sci-fi original movie in book form.
Yes.
Like, this literally could have been the novelization of the film Sharknado. Because this month's book is Sharcano.
Sharcano. It is sharks and volcanoes.
Now, before you say this isn't too bad even
And
for
before
before you say this is too bad even for SyFy, the other day I was watching TV and I saw a trailer, a commercial for Sharknado 3, followed by lava spiders. It's literally spiders that come out of volcanoes, and they're made of lava, just like the sharks in this book. So I don't think anything is too bad for SyFy.
That is terrible.
Right? I saw that and I was like, dude, someone is going to be getting a C&D soon.
So, I mean, and the thing is that, I'll get to that later. But yes.
The reviews for it were all like, oh, this book was really fun. This was like a popcorn movie, but in a book form. And I was like, this might actually be entertaining. I was very wrong.
You were very wrong.
This book was painful to read at times.
This is I totally agree with you. This is like as if somebody had written a novelization of a sci-fi original movie. Only they weren't very good at it, or they were.
It's like they read the Wikipedia plot summary of a sci-fi original movie, and then we're like, I'm gonna write a book about that.
Or they were 13, right? Like, I know Jose Prendes, unless he ripped off the picture from somebody else, is in fact a grown man. But the writing in the book it felt very immature. And we'll get to that. So, do you have anything more to say before we do the summary?
Yes, I fully believe that everyone listening should read this book.
Why would you do that to them? That's not the point. We read, we suffer for them.
I think everyone needs to read this book. Just because I'm disappointed that I had to read it.
So unlike shared joy, shared pain is not divided. That's not how it works.
There are very few books that we have read that I think, oh God, someone else needs to read this shit. This book is. I don't know that we can do how awful this book is justice in an hour.
No, and we can't. And with that, so usually when I try and do a synopsis, I try and go from the beginning of the book to the end. But
you
this
really
book,
can't do that with this book.
you can't do that with this book. And the reason for that is, and I'll go more into why this bugged the shit out of me, is that it's not written. Most of the book is not written in a linear format. Every other chapter, is written from a different person's perspective, and sometimes those people matter. Like there are a couple of main characters that are throughout the book, and sometimes those characters don't, and they exist solely to be eaten by lava sharks. And so I'm just going to give a very high-level summary of the book. Basically, it starts with a scene written detailing the fight between a megalodon and a giant squid in modern times, and they are both underwater immolated in a hot moment. And the corpse of the megalodon washes up in Nicaragua, which causes a great stir because, oh my God, megalodon, a shark that everyone thought was extinct, washes up on shore. Big.
I just want to say, that's not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
The thing is, it is. Even the science, even Discovery has said, like, yeah, there's no megalodons. You're right. When everyone gave them shit last year for their bullshit Shark Week, like, even they were like, yeah, megalodon doesn't exist. We would have found more evidence more recently of it existing. I mean, the ocean is deep and it is huge, but I think we would have discovered a prehistoric shark that is literally like 30 feet long by now. Hell, they even found a shark that was 16 feet long. And so, anyway, so we're introduced throughout the book to a couple of different characters. We have Mick Cathcart, who is a television news personality. We are introduced to Father Mackenzie and Father Cox, two Catholic priests. We're introduced to Dr. Agnes Bach, who is a biologist, and she works for the Wei Hui Foundation, named after its sole owner, the scientist Dr. Wei Hui.
Wei Hu.
Excuse me, Wei Hu.
And the only reason I remember that is because he makes a fucking joke about everyone calling him Doctor Who.
That is true. That is very true. And intermixed with these characters is we're introduced to several other people. For instance, with Mick, we have Rick Perry, no relation to the former Texas governor, who is his cameraman. We're introduced to various scientists. Every now and again, we're introduced to other priests. And basically, soon after the megalodon washes up on the shore of Nicaragua, volcanoes start erupting all over the place. One bursts out of the ocean near Shanghai and sends a tsunami that wipes out this coastal town. And it's there. And then this one huge volcano in Nicaragua explodes and becomes active again. And Yellowstone becomes active again. And even where there are not volcanoes, there appears, and in my write-up and summaries of each chapter, I described it as sudden lava, where there's just suddenly lava, where there shouldn't be any fucking sudden lava. It's just suddenly lava. New York becomes flooded with lava. Los Angeles flooded with lava. All over the fucking place, there's just random-ass lava. And people are getting immolated, and the lava is shooting out lava bombs, which I believe are big blobby chunks of lava that rain down and burn people to death. And it starts first in Nicaragua, and they have to flee. They flee Nicaragua because it's just getting crazy. Mick, Agnes, and Rick, they flee Nicaragua and they hop a boat to Costa Rica, and then they fly from Costa Rica to Hawaii because Agnes, of course, has a friend who is a volcanologist. Whatever. I'm sure there's a more technical name than that. And they want to consult with her to find out what the fuck is going on. Meanwhile, while this is happening, various other horrible shit is happening. For instance, Mick's ex-wife who is the most pathetic character ever. Basically hooks up with her daughter. And then they, as Los Angeles begins flooding with lava and there's earthquakes and terribleness, they flee to her girlfriend, lover's house, and where she is promptly shot and killed because
by the lover.
The
lover is there having an affair with her ex-boyfriend, and they think she's an intruder, so she pulls out a gun and shoots her.
Shoots her in front of her daughter. Just shoots her, and she dies. And meanwhile, during this time, while the stuff in Nicaragua is happening, Father Mackenzie, this old priest, basically reveals himself to be one of like if you were going to have a stereotypical supernatural film featuring priests, this is the priest who lives a secluded life in his room. No one ever goes in there, and when they go in, they find the walls covered in like drawings of angels and crosses with creepy notes about the end times and a fascination with the Book of Revelations, and that's Father Mackenzie. And Father Mackenzie basically alludes that the end is nigh, it can't be stopped, and he hangs himself. And Father Cox, who's the head of the priests at that particular church, is the one who finds his body, and he also discovers these series of notebooks that Father Mackenzie left behind, and he reads them and realizes that Father Mackenzie knew about these events before they came about, and that's the reason why he killed himself. He goes to the Vatican, and he finds out that the Vatican actually knew about the volcanoes coming before anybody else. They just didn't really tell anyone because they didn't want to scare anybody. You know, it's not like the world needs to know that there's going to be this giant worldwide cataclysmic event, because they wouldn't want to worry anybody. Oh no, you know, let's not give anyone a chance to prepare or figure out a plan to reduce the eventual deaths that come about from panic and lack of planning and everything else. Oh no, let's not do that. And there's more lava. There's lava in the Vatican. There's lava in Shanghai. There's lava eventually in Hawaii. And there's lava in Yellowstone. And we're introduced in Yellowstone to two hillbillies named Trig and Buck. And Trig and Buck are introduced to us because they are hunting Bigfoot. And Bigfoot exists because they get a picture of him just before he is immolated by sudden volcano. They are also the first ones who see and actually get picture evidence of the lava sharks. Yes, there are lava sharks. There are sharks living in the lava. There are sharks. They are also, while they live in the lava, they also are lava, as if they are formed out of lava. The lava creates the lava shark. And the lava sharks can be shot out of the volcanoes like missiles.
That's what the lava bombs are.
The lava
They're
bombs
actual
are.
sharks.
They're actual sharks. The sharks can apparently swim through the ground. The lava sharks can flop about because they're made of lava. They don't actually breathe.
I'm pretty sure, like at the end, towards the end of the book, he's just like, "Yeah, the sharks can do that."
Yeah,
okay.
They just flop around, right?
We need to get a shark up on a table. Yeah, they can just jump.
Or the shark's kind of just like humping its way down the hallway in the laboratory, right? You know, that happens.
So
you know, it's like Jurassic Park in the kitchen, but
right.
with the raptors,
Well,
but
all this shit
lamer.
Was it Mick that was doing the research? Mick is doing research on.
Nope, Father Cox.
No,
the Hellfire Club?
Father Cox manages to escape the Vatican.
Yes.
Where literally every other priest ever dies. Apparently. They sequestered a bunch of them there knowing that they would need them to go out and help people after this.
It's like a vault in Fallout. Right.
Right.
Like
it's a holy vault, which ends up getting destroyed by lava, and everybody in it dies. So Father Cox manages to get out and gets to meet up with everybody because
how does he do that?
He gets picked up by Doctor Who, by a man who looks much like Doctor Who, only younger. I think it was a clone.
I thought so too, but it was never. They
never touched on it again.
Yeah.
So he gets out there and gives them all this information about these demon worshipping clubs, and turns out that in 3 different areas,
conveniently, all the volcanoes that exploded.
Right. 13 people went out and sacrificed themselves in order to bring about the end times, and that was in Yellowstone, where the volcano became active, in
Nicaragua,
where the volcano became active, and in China, where the one erupted out of the sea. And they discover, oh, so this is like a fucking unholy thing. And then, out of nowhere, it throws this other chapter at us about these two military police in like Colombia, and they're trying in some South American country, and they're trying to rescue people, and they end up barricading themselves in this church, and they discover this priest is holding the lava at bay with holy water. So they somehow get that information out, and basically it's revealed that the sharks are demons.
And the thing that also though that they don't ever explain is how that priest gained that information, right? Like, so the main characters discover it because Mick tries to use the corpse of his ex-wife's lover, because she kills herself, as bait to distract the shark, but the shark's not interested in it. And the priest figures out Father Cox figures out that the reason why the shark was not interested in it was because he had performed last rites on it and had sprinkled it with holy water and had redeemed it. And so that's how the main characters found out. But somehow
I'm not so hung up on that other priest. I'm not so hung up on that other priest because if I'm a priest and I really think that it's the end times, I'm gonna fucking throw holy water at goddamn everything.
But he didn't know it was the end times. He it's just, I mean, as far as he knew.
I'm sure he had his suspicions because he's in an area that doesn't have an active volcano and there's fucking lava sharks. I gotta tell you, if I'm a holy man and there are goddamn lava sharks, I'm going to assume they're demons and throw holy water on them.
That's probably
If a person comes at me and looks slightly crazy, I'm a holy man, I'm gonna throw fucking holy water on him just in case.
Okay, that is fair.
When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. When all you have is a bucket of holy water,
you splash that shit around at will. So while this is also happening,
they also discovered that explosions make them stronger.
Well, yes and no. So certain explosions make them stronger. When you set off an explosion in a lava shark, apparently it grows into a lava megalodon, 60 feet long and 30 feet wide, and able to fling itself and fly through the air like a fucking whatever. But while this is also going on, there is a guy in China who basically decides that he goes crazy. He snaps and he goes, I'm gonna get revenge on that volcano, which they're all calling Meilong, which is a name of a Chinese
now the people in China don't know about lava sharks.
Oh,
no one in China deals with a lava shark.
No, they deal with actual sharks.
Because they deal with actual sharks because the tsunami floods like 70% of China.
Yeah.
Coastal China.
And anyway, so he just, because China apparently just leaves them lying around, he breaks into a military installation, steals a nuke, loads it onto a jet, and flies off with it and crashes the nuke into the volcano. Now, I don't know about you.
They're not supposed to work that way.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that nukes have to be armed. I'm pretty sure that you can't just, in fact, walk up with a wheelbarrow and say, "By the way, I'm going to take this," and they go, "Oh, okay." And I'm pretty sure that if a country had a nuke stolen and they knew it was on a plane, they'd probably blow that fucking plane up. Lest the crazy person who stole the nuke set it off on land. But anyway, so he flies the nuke into the volcano, and the nuke goes off. Now, unlike previous explosions in lava, which made lava sharks stronger, we do not, in fact, get a radioactive kaiju lava shark.
They talk about that, though. About why it didn't do that. Because destroying the volcano takes away their source of power. Because the three main volcanoes were where the sacrifices were performed, and that was what was giving them the power. And that's why they theorized that if they could destroy all three volcanoes, then there wouldn't be any more sharks to deal with, and then they would just have to get rid of the ones that were on the surface. It's stupid.
It is.
It's a whole lot of, well, maybe if we did this, maybe if we set off a nuke that might irradiate 30% of America.
It's yeah. So I mean, but you have to think that if you were having lava sharks in places in the Vatican, right? The fucking Vatican, right? You've got two volcanoes on the set of America's continents, right? You've got one in Central America and Nicaragua, and you have one in North America in Yellowstone. You have one in the South China Sea. You are pretty much equidistant, far away from all of the fucking volcanoes in the fucking Vatican, right? So to me, it doesn't make any sense unless you're going for the stupid spiritual bullshit angle of the plot that nuking the volcano would do anything, because the fucking lava is appearing everywhere. So there's got to be lava sharks.
Right.
Where,
well, it was.
right?
It was. I think it was Father Cox and Mick that came to the conclusion that if they destroyed the volcanoes, which is where their power was emanating from, that they'd be able to stop all of the sharks. It's a super, super stretchy part of the imagination that they took to get there. But the thing that kills me is, so they're in this place in Hawaii. They're in this Hawaiian sea lab. And they sent somebody out to catch 2 of the lava sharks. And they put them into this tank, and the water is like 20 below zero, and it's like super reinforced everything. And they're trying to study them. But somehow no one notices when the water temperature rises and when the glass starts to melt. No one notices that shit until it's too late. I'm fucking sorry. If you brought in 2 goddamn lava sharks, you're watching all of that shit.
No,
you're not sticking one dude in there and be like, hey, Poindexter. That's the dude's actual name, Poindexter. Watch these 2 things. Observe them. And he's not going to be like, okay, let's set an alarm to tell me if the temperature goes up by even 1 degree. No, they set it to go off like when it raised 20 degrees. It's fucking stupid. It's all these stupid people doing their jobs poorly in order to advance the plot.
So you have...
Don't forget about the fucking devil flu.
Oh, well, we'll get to that. In fact, we'll get to that right now. So, meanwhile, while this is going on, apparently, not to be outdone by General Trips and Stephen King's The Stand, Jose Prendes decided to introduce a flu. Yes, it's a flu. It's a virulent, kind of zombie-ish flu that supposedly comes from the lava. How it comes from the lava, no one ever fucking explains it. And it's apparently spread by mosquitoes, though never a mosquito is seen. And apparently
it's like airborne, but not airborne. And it's super contagious, but not super contagious. There's a little bullshit, one of his throw-in chapters of some other priest in Africa who goes to this village and discovers everyone in the village is basically dead from these boils and this flu, basically. And he finds one person still alive, one kid still alive.
No, there were 2 priests. There were 2 priests.
Right, 2 priests. And they go into this hut where this one kid is still alive. And the kid starts fucking talking to him in this demon voice. And he's like, they drank the bad water from the ground to bring us here. And it's like, oh, they're going to explain some shit.
Nope. And apparently the kid has lava teeth.
Well, I think he was possessed by one of the lava demons.
And is able to gnaw through a priest's neck, like not
chews through his entire neck to chew his neck
to take his head off, just like, you know. And then the other priest, like drop kicks him away, and the kid just falls to pieces into lava, and there's a lava shark, and that scene is never repeated, ever. It never happens again. It's never explained. It's just there, right? It's just.
And
there.
They also never explain how that, like, if it was legit, like a virus that they're like, oh, it spreads through these channels, cool. set up your fucking rules and follow them. Don't suddenly start having people who've had
No.
no contact with anyone
No.
who's been sick.
Rules are for losers, Tyler. This is
People
art.
who should not
This
be
is fucking art, man.
All the dude had to do was fucking watch Outbreak one time, and you'd understand.
No.
Play one fucking game of Pandemic.
He read Wikipedia. He's good. But I mean, like he had this whole section on on mega volcanoes, and I'm pretty sure that he just went to
pasted Wikipedia.
Yeah, went to Wikipedia and just copied whatever the fuck he found there.
They at least explain why the lava demons are sharks.
Because it was the first thing they
encountered. So
it's like Gozer the Gozerian.
Right.
It's the first thing you think about. Yeah.
So eventually they destroy all 3 volcanoes, but Father Cox realizes when he was hearing more about how the first Chinese one was destroyed. Oh, Father Cox is also hallucinating Father Mackenzie's zombie talking to him,
like the ghost of Marley.
Right, and he basically figures out that someone has to sacrifice themselves to destroy the volcanoes. And if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't get destroyed, and we're all fucked. So he finds that out after the second one, after the one in Nicaragua gets destroyed, and he realizes that a team of like 10 went in, and only one person survived.
Which was the priest. Basically, one of the soldiers, the special forces guys, he stayed behind to kind of draw the lava sharks away from the priest, and he's the one who set off the explosion. But I mean, and here again we get with the lack of internal consistency, right? Because in the first one, you have with Mei Long, you have the guy piloting the plane deliberately into the mouth of the volcano. You have in Nicaragua, you have the guy who stays behind to save to just draw the sharks away and to set off to press the timer and blow up set off the explosion.
Blows up some substation that collapses the volcano in on itself.
It's bullshit.
There's some fucking pseudoscience behind it.
Yeah, but with Yellowstone, basically they load this nuke up onto like biplanes or some shit, which of course the hillbillies know how to fly.
Crop dusters. It was a fucking crop dusting plane. Yeah. Because they were in like Air Force One and it went down because it got hit by a fucking lava shark grenade or whatever. It goes down, the bomb doesn't go off. The hillbillies show up and surprise, hillbillies know how to fly a crop dusting plane. So they strap the bomb to the crop dusting plane or some crap like that. And then there's this whole debate over who gets to kill themselves on this bomb.
Hold on a sec, Ty. You just you faded out. So what was that last part?
The Air Force One goes down. They miraculously find these planes. And actually, I don't think it was a crop dusting plane because they talked about sliding it out the back.
Yeah, but it's like
they know how to fly the plane because he flew crop dusting planes because all planes are the same. And so Father Mackenzie or Father Cox is fucked up.
Yeah, he got his leg bit off.
He gets his leg bitten off, and he dies in the plane. So Mick is like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to kill myself, even though I just promised my daughter and my new girlfriend that I would come back. And so Trig, I think, is flying that plane. Or is it? No, yes. It was Buck. It was Buck who was flying the plane because his wife got the disease somehow. She got the flu and died. And he was like, I got nothing to live for now. Let me do it. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it. And they're like arguing. And then the surprise Father Cox wakes up and goes, I got this, guys. Basically pushes himself out of the plane with the bomb into the volcano. It blows it up. They stop it. All the volcanoes are gone, so there's no more lava sharks coming. And they realize we only have to deal with the ones that are here now. It's kind of like destroying an enemy generator in Gauntlet. You're not going to get any more, but you still have to deal with all the ones that are out. And they start talking basically, and there's like, it's like this at the end of that movie, Signs.
Yeah.
When they finally get word that you can just use water to defeat them, and it shows all the different people defeating the aliens with water. They talk about, there's this little montage about how everyone is defeating the things with holy water, and they're like, well, Shanghai had it the best because they just had all their holy men bless the floodwaters. It's like, if it's that simple, all one priest has to do is go bless the ocean.
It's
done.
And that's the thing, and we'll get to that in a little bit. And then the book ends with basically, I think Wei Hu has flown off to
a private island.
To a private island, where basically his other assistants have brought, I think, the priest from Africa there, who's infected with the flu.
Right,
because he's in like a medically induced coma or something, so he's not getting any worse. And he's in some sort of like stasis or whatever.
That's how diseases work.
And that's where the book ends, is that he's got this priest with the flu. Yeah. And that's the end of the book. And if me and Tyler bouncing this plot back and forth seemed hectic and erratic and did not at all make sense, congratulations. That was
what the book is like.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what the book does. It bounces all over the place. The timeline is really fucking hard to pin down. The time it takes Mick's wife and daughter to drive across town in Los Angeles, he manages to fly from Costa Rica to Hawaii,
which is 5,000 miles, which is almost 5,000 miles. It's like 4,800 miles. Well, and it's not just he flies from Costa Rica to Hawaii. He takes a boat from Nicaragua to Costa Rica, and then manages to hop a plane from Costa Rica to fucking Hawaii, and manages it with all one flight. And I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that smaller planes, I don't know if they can make that much of a distance without stopping to refuel. The same amount of time that he has Mick, Perry, and Agnes basically drive out to a fucking like nature park. We have a character fly from mainland U.S. to the fucking Vatican City. Right. Like,
so just for some reference, it's 2,500 miles from L.A. to New York, and that's a 5.5, almost 6-hour flight.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 12 hours of flight time, plus the time that it took them to take the boat from Nicaragua to Costa Rica.
And you know that these events are supposedly all happening at the same time because they will often reference the other things. So time is fucking meaningless in this book. And to me, it bugged the shit out of me because it's so fucking amateur hour. Right? It's like, how fucking difficult is it for you to actually really think about that shit takes time, right? Like, and especially when you're in a disaster situation like this, it's going to take more time. And that was one of the first things that just chapped my ass.
You could accept demon sharks made of lava out of volcanoes to attack planes and helicopters, but there's no way that dude made that flight in less like 45 minutes.
Well, I mean, the thing is that like when you have books like this, there's certain premises, right, that you have to be able to accept, right? Okay, so the premise of the book is that there's fucking demonic lava sharks. I think that's incredibly stupid, but okay. But I mean, you still have to deal with distance, right? Like, it's not like they hopped in their fucking TARDIS and teleported across the distance. They're taking regular normal planes, there has to be at least some sense of reality, and this was fucking not it. And I think he was trying to go for like that crazy hectic disaster porn pace that you get in movies, and it just doesn't translate when you have people globe trotting and trying to deal with it. I mean, it's even like in fucking World War Z, you still had time passing, right? Like you had people, days passing, nights passing. It was still took time, even though he was hopping all over the fucking world. Um, this book is written in a weird third person where it's not like an unknown third person where they're neutral and everything. It's like this person is either a 13-year-old boy telling you the story or a douche bro being like, yo man, I've got this great idea for a story. It's fucking lava sharks. It's amazing. And because this person, like whoever is narrating, is adding in like their own points of view, you know, a great case in point. I don't know if you've ever had it, but I'm sure you have. Most people have had this friend. Generally, this person is someone you're friends with when you're a lot younger, and they're basically, especially with guys, it's a person who is just obsessed with sex, obsessed with women, but not like women for women. He's obsessed with like their appearance. He's constantly talking about the chicks he wants to bang, the chicks he has banged, and that's how he refers to them as chicks. And that was how the narrator of this book was. Every woman was either smoking hot, and that was the first thing you found out about them, or they were totally unattractive, right? Like, Dr. Agnes Bach, it's not that she's a doctor and a biologist and she's actually incredibly intelligent. No, first things you learn about her is that she was the former prom queen at her high school, and that she's beautiful, and you get her physical attributes before you even know anything else about her. Same thing with the volcanologist. Same thing, like at one point, like in one of the throwaway chapters, he introduces a Nicaraguan trivia personality who's basically, she's just tits. That's all that you really get away from her. Fact is that she's just tits, and she's on TV because she's got tits. And that was one of the things that bugged me about the narrator. And like, Mick is just a douchebag, and it follows the typical, like, the Agnes doesn't like him, but then she's eventually won over by him by his charm, and then they promise to bang later on. It's just fucking infuriating. It looks like Tyler crashed out, so he's going to be joining us in just a little bit. But other stuff that bothers me about the narrator is that he switches at times between third and first person. He'll be talking from a high level about what's going on, and then he'll like zoom in, and then suddenly it'll be in like mixed perspective without any kind of rhyme or reason, or it just happens in the middle of the scene. The narrator is also not specific. At one point, he's talking about how these scientists are doing studies, and he has this tendency to do hand wavy stuff. Like, he says that the scientists, they had taking readings and whatnot, right? It's like the author knows that there is something that should go here. Like, the scientists should be doing something, but he has no actual understanding of what the scientists should be doing. And he obviously has taken no effort to do any kind of research on what the scientists are doing. And so he just says, the scientists took readings and fucking whatever. And he's just non-specific like that. he does a lot of telling and not showing. So, for instance, they swarmed up the stairway with a frantic kind of speed. What's a frantic kind of speed look like? Is that they hurried, they were rushed, they raced. All of those things are more descriptive than a frantic kind of speed. Okay, well, what kind is? And it's just the entire time it just gave the impression that this is somebody who is trying to tell you how cool this story is and really, really wants to stress how cool they think the story is without actually making the story cool and interesting. I'm going off about the narrator and how annoying the fucking narrator was. I covered that he switches between third and first person. He puts in his own emotion. He's non-specific in the fact that, like, the author, I think, knew that certain people were supposed to be doing things but didn't know what the fuck those things actually were, and so he said stuff like, these scientists had taken readings and whatnot is a direct quote, and it's like, hey, they're doing readings and science bullshit.
They're doing science stuff.
Yeah, welcome back. So what about the narrator bugged the shit out of you?
Just that. What always really bothers me about a narrator is when the narrator is not a character in the story and then adds emotion. That just bothers the shit out of me.
Or like, and the fact is, why would a non-person narrator, a neutral narrator, use descriptive cursing, right? Like that's why I said earlier that it gave me the impression that this story was somebody trying to tell you the story, right? It wasn't that the narrator was there, the third person perspective was there to kind of fill in your kind of God's eye view of the story. This is a story that somebody is trying to tell you. Like they're pitching the book to you. Other shit that bothered me. At one point, like he's not this book is terribly not consistent. We've talked about the inconsistency regarding time flow and distance. We talked about other inconsistency. He has inconsistencies regarding his own fucking monsters, right? In like the damage they do, right? These are lava sharks. These are sharks comprised of lava that is hundreds of degrees hot, right? But you have characters who at one point they're getting limbs bitten off and then the wound is cauterized, and then you have other characters who have their heads bitten off and then the neck is spraying blood everywhere, so it's not cauterized. And he also doesn't even know what fucking cauterized means, right? Like, he gets that it means that the wound is sealed because it's burned, but then he describes it as semi-healed. No, it's not semi-healed. It's closed. It's still a fucking burn wound, right? Like, that's still an injury. It's in no way, shape, or form healed. This is not like an action film where the guy... Yeah, the hero takes like a piece of metal and heats it up in a campfire and seals the bullet wound closed. No, that doesn't heal the wound. It just makes it so that you're not going to fucking bleed out. You've still got, all that damage inside is still there and still needs to heal. You probably are still bleeding inside your body.
Lava is like 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit, like at its coolest. And that's gonna keep burning you for a while.
Well, I think like he got that, but like later on in the book, because like a person gets some lava on them, and then basically like they just immolate, right? It's not like it burns off their
really
arm.
It's
like
about this book.
What?
The number of times people took lava sharks to the balls.
Yeah,
you had that happen like 3 times. Yeah, where somebody either got bit by in the dick by a lava shark, or lava splashed onto their junk. And it's like, dude, come on. Also, what really bothered me is how he interchangeably used the words lava and magma.
That's what bugged you?
That's like some fucking 6th grade science shit right there.
Liquid hot magma.
If it's
Um,
below the Earth's crust, it's magma. If it's above it, it's lava. That's all. That's all you got to know. So if it's
uh,
outside and it's a shark and it's swimming around above the surface of the Earth, it's a lava shark, not a fucking magma shark. Do a little bit of research, Jose
no, he
fucking
didn't do
Prendes.
any fucking research. That little bit on mega volcanoes and mega eruptions was it. That
That
was
was all the
it.
science
That's
he
all
did.
he did. He hit up. He did a Google search. He hit the
He's like, well,
Wikipedia page.
there's my due
That was fucking.
diligence.
He's fucking done. And right, like there's that, and then like perfect line, perfect wonderful line. At one point, as they're getting attacked by the two lava sharks in the fucking sea lab in Hawaii, Agnes gets lava splashed on her pants. But unlike other people where the lava just fucking eats through their
Melts through
body,
their body
like
immediately.
she has the time to take off her pants. Right, like it's like it's fucking like she's Hicks in Alien stripping off her body armor before it can eat through his body. But it the way he described it was I literally had to stop reading the book because it's so fucking ridiculous. The line was, she ripped her pants away like a professional pants remover. That's the actual fucking. That is how he described her taking off her pants. Ripped her pants away like a professional pants remover, and it is that is if that is not the perfect example of some of the laziest motherfucking writing I have read this year, I don't have a better example. That is fucking god awful, lazy, descriptive writing, and it is that book is rife with this bullshit. Or at some point, I can't remember who he's talking about. It might have been Buck. Um, he describes him flying the plane like a man with too many flight simulator hours logged. What the fuck does that mean? Right? Like, does that mean that he approaches flying like it's a fucking video game? Like, he's not really used to dealing with the random changes of actually dealing with something in reality, and he's more used to dealing with it in the controlled environment of a flight simulator? It's like, the fuck is this bullshit? Like, just come on, man. Put some fucking effort into it. And the narrator the Prendes just doesn't do that at all. And, oh my god. Right? It just bugs the shit out of me. Oh, and another fucking thing about the fucking Yellowstone thing, right? So you have three times. There are three volcanoes. The first two, you have somebody who stays behind to cause the explosion. Father Cox did not fucking do that. Right? Like, he tagged along on the bomb. He didn't. That wasn't a fucking sacrifice. That was not a sacrifice in the same way that the other two were sacrifices. That bomb was going to hit no matter fucking what, right? And also, the bomb did not actually hit the volcano. As Father Cox is tagging along on the bomb, not like unlike the guy in fucking Doctor Strangelove writing the bomb down. A lava shark, a lava megalodon, leaps out of the volcano and consumes him and the bomb. So, we have already established earlier that lava sharks who are fed bombs get stronger. And here you have a lava megalodon eating a nuke before it can hit the volcano, and fuck all, right? So it's not even with this last what's supposed to be this last heroic scene is he had all consistent with things he has set up earlier in the book. Oh, and also in whatever fucking plane they're flying away from, right? Like they pull some like Enola Gay bullshit and like manage to escape without like not getting irradiated by the explosion or their plane getting wiped out by the EMP or I mean just it's fucking terrible. This I want to say that this is probably the worst fucking book we've read this year. I hate this fucking book. You have anything else you want to add to that? Because fuck.
Doing a little bit of research on Jose Prendes here. Apparently the dude's a screenwriter.
Really? What has he done? I disbelieve.
Let me get you his IMDb page. Google's being slow right now. So the second book in the Sharkpocalypse trilogy, this is supposed to be the Sharkpocalypse trilogy, was Sharks of the Living Dead, was due out in February of 2015. Note, we have not seen that book yet.
Good. I hope we don't. Jose Prendes, just don't.
Jose Prendes, screenwriter. Well, 2014 story and screenplay. He wrote Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark.
Are you shitting me?
He did a screenplay for a film called Hansel versus Gretel.
I'm sensing
The
a
Haunting
versus
of Whaley House, The Haunting of Winchester House, The Terminators. All of these direct to video, by the way.
I'm not surprised.
Countdown Jerusalem, Corpses Are Forever, Song of the Vampire, The Monster Man. Wow. And also apparently a series called Veronique von Venom, Horror Hostess Hottie. It was a TV series.
Probably on like
that
public
he is
access
the creator
television.
Of.
It's probably like a fucking...
People who liked this also liked Chicks with Chainsaw.
wait, hold on a sec. Chicks with chainsaw? Like there's 5 chicks sharing a chainsaw?
Apparently it's chainsaws, just whoever typed it up. The chainsaw chicks are the flawless foot soldiers of a dying alien race. But one of the things people who liked his series liked was a TV series from 2010 called Two Girls, One Cop. So not quality entertainment there. So yeah, sorry, Jose Prendes, your book.
Now,
I'm really starting to feel like this is one of those. Well, it was supposed to be tongue-in-cheek, awful kind of bullshit, but I don't think so. I think you really think this is like solid fiction, Jose Prendes, and I'm sorry, it's not. It's just not.
And that's the thing is that, you know, I definitely it has that sci-fi original Sharknado. Hi, kitty. Kind of quality to it, but worse, right? It's like if you had a sci-fi show, you had somebody that you contracted to write the novelization, but they only learned about the movie by cat butt. There we go. But they learned the details of the movie by talking to a frat boy who was very enthusiastic about having seen it, right? Like, because if you think about it, like the fact that every woman, like, you know, their physical attributes and whether they're hot or not first before you learn anything else, right? Like you learn about Mick and how he's like this total like sly dog womanizer, but really inside he's just a marshmallow man, and nobody really knows the real Mick Cathcart. And even though he totally cheated on his ex-wife and everything else, and he's a total womanizer, like he just fucks him and leaves him, you know. Deep down inside, though, he's really sad about it, right? Like he feels like he made a mistake, and it takes his wife getting shot by her lesbian lover for him to really realize that he fucked up, man, and that redeems him, right? Like, I mean, just that's the gist of this book, is that this is told you by some dude who from like Alpha, Theta, Epsilon. Yeah.
This was basically the literary version of a sci-fi movie, because you know what? I've actually never watched one of those sci-fi movies, because by the time they started, I didn't have cable, and every time someone's like, "Hey, we should watch this," I'm out. I'm unavailable.
We should have had Daniel fucking read this, since he's the sci-fi Sharknado watching son of a bitch.
You know what? If he wants to read it and then offer us a rebuttal, we'll have him on and we'll do a short episode.
I'll tell him about this. I'll tell him about this.
So that was our second June book that we didn't read until July. Sharcano by Jose Prendes.
And
so glad we're done with this.
Yeah, I am too. But I am not. But that comes with it's a bittersweet, because from the tender douchebag embrace of Sharcano, we're jumping right into fucking Grey, the 50 Shades of Grey retelling as told from the perspective of Christian Grey, because Tyler decided that he was mad at Matt and wanted to go back to that bullshit.
I read this shit too, buddy. I read this shit too. I read this shit when I was on a cruise ship in Alaska.
Why I applaud your dedication to Sparkle Motion. That I would not have done that. I would not have read that on vacation.
I have some opinions on this book, but I'm going to save them for our next recording, because I powered through Grey so I could read the new Ernest Cline book, Armada. I was hoping to get at least as much time out of Armada as I put into Grey. Unfortunately, it's like half the length. Jesus fucking Christ, how can E.L. James write so much?
You want to know why?
It's like a 550-page book.
Yeah. You know why? Because she probably got paid. She negotiated to get paid by the word.
By the word.
By the word.
I believe it.
Right?
She
probably
was
like, I want 10 cents a word. And I'm going to, even though, and that's,
yeah.
It's fan fiction about her fucking fan fiction. All right, that's all I'm going to say about it now.
That's exactly what Grey is. Oh my God. Okay, so in probably a week, maybe two, we'll do the recording for Grey.
Yes, I will. So I'm at 30% as of right now. I'm trying to do 15% a day, which means that if I'm able to continue on that pace, I will be done by Monday night. And Great. We can record Tuesday, or not Tuesday, I have game.
Can't record Tuesday, yeah.
Wednesday.
We have game.
Yes, we're going to have game.
I'll finally be there.
Yes, that's true.
So we'll record next week sometime.
Yes.
Next episode. This will go up tomorrow, which will be, I don't even know what day it is.
Tomorrow is my motherfucking birthday.
Oh, it is Wednesday. So tomorrow it'll go up on Thursday.
And I can put it up unless you can do it, because I'm saying fuck housework, fuck looking for a job. It's my motherfucking birthday. I'm 35. I'm gonna fucking play video games. That's what I'm gonna do all day.
Nice.
So yeah, I can take care of it if you want.
Well, I've got nothing to do either.
So, all right. Well, then you rip it and get up on Podbean, and then I'll get up on the website. So, in other news, you voluntold me for another podcast.
Yeah, that's
When-
going to be starting soon. I don't know when exactly. I've got a couple other things that I need to focus on first. I'm thinking we'll definitely maybe record by September.
Okay.
We'll talk more about it at the next podcast. On the next podcast, though.
Or we can talk on Tuesday when I see you.
Yeah, we can. There's plenty of times we can talk.
Yeah,
because I live up here now.
Yes, you can. And finally, the last thing I want to mention is Convolution. Convolution is happening in October. We have a 120 person room. It is they decided that last year because we had filled up the 40 or 50 person room and it was standing room only, and in fact we had people standing and hanging out for over an hour. They moved us into a giant room. I don't think we're going to be able to fill it, but I'd like to get close.
Now with that attitude, we're gonna fucking pack that room. If you're listening to this and you live in Northern California or like coming up to Northern California for cons, come to Convolution, be at our goddamn show.
Yes, it's going to be awesome.
I will show up at your house.
And in part because we are going to be in fur bikinis because I'm a motherfucker and volunteered all of the men to do that since Kendra and our podcast friend Ronnie said that they were going to wear it. And the book we're reading is Tarnsman of Gore, the starting book of the great Gore franchise and what started the whole Gore BDSM craziness and insanity. So we're gonna tear that shit apart, and hopefully, it will hopefully be good, and we'll be able to fill up the room, and it'll be awesome. So yes, come listen to the podcast if you're in Northern California. Come to Convolution; it's gonna be awesome. They've got some great guests. There are gonna be some good panels. I am apparently running 2 panels. I'm running one on modern day mythology and one on creepypasta, which is basically like if you're above the age of 30, it's the stories we used to tell each other in school about Bloody Mary. Sort of like Candyman-esque stuff, but now for a more internet-driven
urban legends.
Yes, but specifically those ones spread about and shared on the internet, because creepypasta is, of course, a derivative of the term copy and paste, or copy pasta, and then it became creepypasta. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about that. We might have podcast friend Tyler Hayes might be on those panels with me. I might be on some panels with him, and also there is a secret panel that I may or may not be on. I don't know the details of it yet, but it should be interesting. So, yes, definitely come to Convolution. It's going to be great. Dan and Ed and Kendra are also going to be on other panels as well. So you're going to get to have more of our opinions and points of view when we're sober. Or at least
I have no idea what other panels I'm going to be on yet. I got my thing back in late, and I don't really know what I'm qualified to do. I mean, I'm not a writer. I'm not a producer of content other than just being a general jackass. But I'm sure there's panels for me.
You would be great on the liars panel. Like, I think that would be a great panel for you, because if there's one thing that you can do, it's you can fuck with people's heads. I know that for a fact.
That is true. I do that. I know they were expanding. They wanted to do more with gaming this con, so hopefully I'll get to do something with that, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that would be awesome. So, yes, anyway, that is Sharcano. Any closing thoughts you want to put up about it before we sign off?
Fuck you, Jose Prendes. Fuck you.
Oh God, this was.
But really, I'm happy you found some moderate success in the world of writing, screenplays, books. Just stop.
Just yeah, or at least please go read some books on writing, and also
Go
buy
buy
your
a fucking 6th grade Earth Science handbook.
or a globe, right? Buy a globe, buy a map of the Earth so that you can see how far away the Vatican is.
One tip, Jose Prendes, google.com/maps. Come on.
And just search how far away is Costa Rica from Hawaii, and Google will fucking tell you that shit. It'll give you the exact distance.
Change,
yeah.
By the way. Anyway, so yes, that's season 4, episode 6 of Your Book Is Why Daddy Drinks, featuring Sharcano by Jose Prendes.
Ugh.
Thank you so very much for listening. Again, thank you. This is Tyler.
And this is Matt. Good night.
Good night.